Good afternoon. On behalf of Patrícia Teixeira Lopes, Porto Business School's, our associate dean, it gives me the pleasure to welcome to Porto Business School. A few months ago, we were challenged by Maya Chess Academy to be part of Strong Minds, an international chess conference. What the chess and the business school have in common? Well, a lot. Discussion, making, planning, time management, self-responsible strategy and leadership. Concept that we easily can find while playing chess. And we, as a business school, work every day in our MBA, postgraduate and executive programs, as we aim to prepare individuals and companies to be agents of changing throughout life. How can chess and its analytics and logical process help build business skills, shape entrepreneurial think? That's what we're doing to discuss today. I hope you find this session enlightening. Thank you very much to be here.
Hello everyone, I'm Susana Gonçalves. I'm talking on behalf of Maya Chess Academy and on behalf with Queens that support this organizing this event. We'll welcome you for all the people that are watching us on this conference online and that are here in present, and all the chess players and all the businessmen and all the leaders that will get the chance to see this conference in the future and change some mindsets and go further in life. We did choose Porto Business School because we are aligned in their visions. We make change happen, and that's why we are here today. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Hernani Ribeiro, City Councillor of Sports for the City of Maya. And I want to start saying that it has been a privilege for the City of Maya to host this event these 2 weeks. It has been a magnificent event and as the pinnacle with this conference. I want to thank all the people who have done this come to reality at Academia de Xadrez da Maya, and this believe in the qualities of that chess can transmit, that we support this event and support the practice of chess in our territory. So, thank you very much.
Good afternoon to everyone. I want to welcome you to Matosinhos. We are in Matosinhos today and the Strong Minds International Chess Conference. I'm the Councillor of Sport of this city, and I want to convey you on behalf of our Mayor, Luísa Salgueiro, to welcome you to our city. Our city is known as a city of architecture, design, innovation, good gastronomy, fish, but also is known for its sports. And here we are today on a conference that is hosted by Maya, our municipality that is our neighbor, and we welcome there with our warm welcome. I want to address to all the participants a good experience, and I want to thank Porto Business School for hosting us and Maya Academy Chess for organizing this great event. Thank you.
then we're really starting with the speakers after all these very nice welcomes. And first speaker is coming from Riga. Dana Raisniece Oswola is former minister, a professional politician who has recently joined, not so recently, because she already also made a big impact in the World Chess Federation FIDE, where she's the managing director. Dana, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefan, for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor really to be here today with you and be part of this great conference, and one of the distinguished speakers that will talk on what the impact of chess has been to them individually and what potential we see of chess having on broader society. And let me share with you my personal story, my lessons learned from chess, and I hope very much that you will have some ideas and probably some things useful to be taken with you in your pocket, in your heart, or in your brain. So let me start. Yes, Stefan said that I come from Riga, but actually I was born in a small town called Kuldiga. It's a wonderful place with the widest waterfall in Europe. You should know the place now. But what is special about it, it has very strong chess traditions. So one of the things that we have inherited from the Soviet Union, a strong system of the arts, sports and music schools. And so it happened to be that in my town, there is a strong chess section in the sports school. So my parents were not told about big advantages that chess would provide to me in my life. It just happened that I was lucky to join the chess club, and the environment there was very friendly for the girls. There were more from girls than the boys, actually. Yes, so and that's how I started my my career in chess. I'm a woman chess grandmaster. I've been twice the European chess champion under 18, several times the second in the world in different age groups, so several times the Latvian chess champion and the leader of the national team since 1981. Yes, but I have never followed the professional chess career path. Nevertheless, chess has helped me a lot in my career path. It's not because I was a chess player, but partly and largely, I would say, because of those skills that chess has given to me that has helped me to climb the career path. So yes, 1.5 years I've been working for FIDE, for the International Chess Federation, as the managing director. Before that, for 10 years, I've been active in the Latvian politics. I've been the member of the parliament, also holding two major, not very feminine ministerial positions, Minister of Economic Affairs and Minister of Finance. And before that, I was the director of high technology park, so with space being one of my great passions and areas that I worked for. So and in every position in my life, I've really noticed that those skills that I've been taught since my childhood are very useful and applicable in business, in politics, in the real life as well. Let me share some of those with you. So I've always been asked, and quite often been asked, what is more important, talent or work? So what is more important to achieve high success? Balance, yes. So over the years, the answers might be different. There is no correct one. But my personal one is that I really believe that the best talent actually is an ability to work hard, because there is no easy way to a success. You have to climb the mountain, yes. And we also have this goddess in chess. Kaisa is her name. I like to say that she's a very jealous lady. If you do not dedicate 100% of you yourself to her, she will punish you at some point. But it works also vice versa. you can deserve your luck. If you will work hard, you will be in the right time, in the right place. You will meet the right people unexpectedly, and the solutions will come. You can deserve luck, and not only in chess, but in the real life as well. Preparation is very important. Chess players know that a large share of the game, large part of the game is already played before you sit at the board. You have to prepare about your opponent. You have to find his or her weaknesses and try to attack them. But sometimes it is really so. And the higher the level, the more difficult it is actually to find the weaknesses of the opponent. That sometimes you cannot find them. So then, and that also works in the real life, in business, in politics, that then the best preparation is actually to, I call it the preparation of a Trojan horse. So you know that your opponent will also come after your weaknesses. So the smart thing is actually to get rid of your weaknesses and prepare some trap for them. So quite often I've applied this in my chess games. So I review my games, I find my weaknesses, I prepare something for them, and then I sit and wait. And normally they come. Yeah, so your strength is not about having million strong points in you. It's actually about being able to avoid your weaknesses, to see them, be objective, and get rid of them. So that's the continuous process in the whole life. Smart use of resources. I like The Little Prince. And one of the episodes there where it said that if you're a king and you ask your general to turn into the seagull and he doesn't do that, it's not because he is a bad general. It's about it is about you. I mean, you are a bad king if you give the orders that a person cannot do. Yes, chess teaches you first help your pieces, then they will help you. The same is applicable in business, in politics, in any team that you are managing. You should know what the strengths and what the weaknesses of your people are, and you have to give them the mandate and the right position so that they can perform best. And not to ask a typical salesperson to be an accountant, for example, or vice versa. It will never work. And don't forget to ask the people, what is that he or she is motivated with? Some people are motivated by salary. Some people are motivated by the career path and potential. Some are motivated by friendly environment they can work in. So the motivations differ. You would be just surprised if you ask and listen to the answers. But it's also very important to really do that and ask and try to understand what your people, what your pieces like and can do. Decision making. Chess has helped me a lot in this particular area. Every move in a chess game is a decision-making process. You calculate, you analyze, you try to remember. Sometimes you rely on your intuition, but then you have to make the move. And this has helped me in politics very much, because in politics, quite often you see that people are process-oriented. They are afraid of taking decisions, especially because not all the necessary decisions are good decisions, yes? And what is the currency of the politician? It is the rating, it is the public opinion. And it's quite often that the politicians think, why should I go for that? Because probably some would appreciate, but large share of the people would not. Yes, so and I risk my rating, my currency. Yes, so chess has taught me that if you have given the mandate in time, you have to execute. Otherwise, the clock will tick and you can lose the game. Yes, not by mate, but by time. One thing that I also appreciate about chess teaches you not to forget that you are not the only one in this game. And it doesn't matter how perfect your plans are and how good your intentions are, you always have to find to remember that there is the other person, at least one, also having their plans. And especially if you are a manager, a business person, or a politician, even more so, you have to understand that you are part of the society. And it's not about, quite often, it's not about the objectivity of your ideas and plans. It is also about perception. And quite often, it is only about the perception. So this is something that you have to anticipate. Yes, so always think of the other party as well. Sometimes it's useful, and in chess it works. When you are stuck, you cannot find new ideas. wake up, go to the other part of the board and look at the same position from the different perspective. That will give you new ideas in chess, in the real life as well. If you want to excel, you have to be brave and responsible. First, you have to understand that every move you make has a consequence. But secondly, if you want to be the great leader, you have to do things differently. And the first reaction normally is that, yeah, everyone knows that you shouldn't go along the stream. So the first reaction is to go against the stream, right? Yes, you can do that, but my experience shows that it's quite often also destructive. Going against the stream quite often means that you are fighting against somebody or something, and it's destructive and it's not too sustainable. It's much better to try to create your own stream, and then people will follow you, and the things will happen. Of course, it's not that easy. It requires a lot of experience, knowledge accumulated, your attention, and then when you have accumulated this knowledge and experience in your subconscious, the things come out and you are ready to innovate. Fair play. It's very important. Life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And I think the politicians, the business people, they know that it's very difficult to create your reputation, and it's so easy to lose it, and you can never regain it. And chess teachers as well. I mean, I really believe if you cheat, you can win a game, but you would not win the tournament. Or if you even win a tournament, you would never become the world chess champion. You could excel for a while, but sooner or later, it will not work. So fair play pays back. And I think this is one of the things that every good teacher, every good coach has to teach the kids to follow. Rituals, for me, it's very important actually to have my own rituals, and it has helped not only in the chess life, but also in all the other areas that I've worked for, because I understand the higher the level, the bigger the chances that I would encounter with the people who are as talented as I am, as strong in having as strong working abilities as I do, having spent so much hours sweating, you know, in the fitness room or in the chess studying chess. I mean, so it's quite often not about your objective skills and readiness level. It has to be there. You have to do the maximum. You know, that was one of the first slides. But it is about your concentration and about your motivation. And these little things, your personal rituals, they help a lot to focus, to concentrate and get additional motivation. My tricks are, for example, before the chess game, I always speak to my pieces. Yes, if there is a flag of Latvia, I always have a look at it. So some things that give me motivation. There is a trick that quite often sportsmen follow, that if they lose, they change their clothes. For me, it's different. I always change the clothes, and if I lose, I let this very shirt to take a revenge. So you can have your own rituals, yes, but they help a lot. And emotions. Whatever you do in your life, passion has to be there, and this is the thing that that people see and feel. There could be two singers, probably technically the same proficiency level, but for one we say, quite good, yes. But for the other one, yes, he or she is a charismatic person. I think this is partly created by passion, by part of the heart that we devote to the thing that we do. Yes, and that is something that people feel and appreciate. So it's worth to put some passion in it. And you need to have some point of reference. Whatever you do, and if you do it with full energy and with your passion, it actually consumes you. You give the energy out, and then you have to get some energy back. You have to find your charger, your batteries. Don't forget about yourself. The balance in life has to be there. I had a period of my life that I worked so much that I forget that there are books in the world. My family broke up. I basically failed. And then I understand that actually if you keep the balance, you're much more sustainable, and you do as much as if you would spend days and nights and not seeing your kids and family, but because you're more productive, you're happier, you are rested, and you can do things better. It's not worth to burn yourself out. For me, the point of reference, that's my family that helps me a lot and supports me a lot. But find your own perfect formula. And then that was my private story, but I want to share also with you some examples where I see that chess is so much more than only the pure professional sports, which is a very important part, because the young chess players, they need to have these superstars like Magnus Carlsen, like Nigel and others whom to follow. Yes, but to get the interest of the other people beyond the exclusive, beautiful but still small chess life only, we need to expand it and utilize its potential for the benefit of society. And we do that. We try to do it. Chess for refugees. I mean, chess is such a great tool to empower people. And for these kind of people who are displaced, they do not live in their homes, it gives a very important sense of belonging to chess family. It gives the sense of stability, integrity, and that gives them a better chance to succeed in their life. So that's why we implement programs for chess and for refugees and slums. Lifelong learning. Chess and education. I'm a mother of 4. So in this ever-changing world, when you cannot predict what the professions will be demanded in 10 or 20 years, it's the smartest way is to give the skills, complex problem solving, creativity, ability to focus. And I mentioned also some of the others that chess has given to me. So that is why I'm a great believer in chess in education. That's also the way how to increase the equality. So the girls, if they get to know chess in the school, there's a better chance that they would go in for it as a sport and choose it as a career. But it's not only the kids. It is also the seniors. I mean, active aging. People playing chess at the senior age have less tendency of dementia, of Alzheimer, many other diseases, but they also that also can be used as a way of socializing, not only in their families, but among themselves. I've got this experience. There's a picture where I play against a lady who is 85 years old, and she has started to go in for chess 5 years ago. So it's possible. And that has provided a fulfillment in her life and in her family. Chess for prisoners, we call it Chess for Freedom. Another program where chess is used for re-socialization, reintegration. People who have made the mistakes in their lives because they have been lacking the structure in their life and guidance in their life. We have so many great examples. When they have learned chess, they come out from the prison and never go back. The levels of the repeated infringement of law notably decrease, and that's the data that the research shows if people go in for chess for 2 and more years, from 74% to less than 20%, as Brazil experience shows. Chess for people with disabilities. During the COVID times, all the sports were stopped. Chess was continuing using the technology, online tournaments. So we organized the biggest chess event that was held during the COVID times. It was the online Olympiad for people with disabilities. So another way how to empower people, even who do not have the eyesight. Yes, ladies, this has been announced the year of the women in chess. We want to increase the share of the women in chess, showing them that it's not only the professional sports that they can do. They can become the trainers, they can be the arbiters, the opinion leaders, the managers, the photographers. There are so many professions in chess that make chess more beautiful, more attractive, and that make chess also more useful. At the end of the day, we want that our people, and especially ladies, feel useful there. And last but not least, big chess events. That is also a very good tool for the regional development. Just few pictures from one of the last our top-level elite tournament, candidates tournament held in Madrid. Besides our elite players playing in the Golden Castle, we were organizing various side events for the kids, for the general society, attracting not only the local community but also the guests from foreign countries. People found out on the map of the world where Madrid is and found another reason to travel there. So additional money to the region, additional motivation to the local and international kids. My son as well, after this photography with Hikaru Nakamura, is unstoppable, playing chess every day. So this is the smart way to invest, educating, empowering, and using chess for the benefit of our future and for reaching goals others are only thinking of. So that's my short story. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dana, for talking us through the benefits of chess in your life, and also for society, for kids, for older people, for everyone. Thought-provoking and passionate. Next speaker, I'm sure, will also give us some good food for thought. He is commonly known as a chess legend, but he's also a handsome Englishman who has traveled a long way to come here from Athens in Greece, where he's based. Nigel Short, welcome.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to time myself. Okay, good. Excellent. I'll say a few things. Here we are. About myself. I'm Nigel Short. I'm English. I like to say I'm the greatest British chess player of the 20th century. Some observant people amongst you will have noticed we're in the 21st century, so my future is behind me, unfortunately. So I'm going to talk about some elements of success in chess, but these are also applicable in other areas. And in particular, I'd like to talk about a book which I read a number of years ago. It's by the author Malcolm Gladwell. Here he is, best-selling author. I don't know whether any of you know him. He wrote an excellent book called Outliers, and it's on the key to success. This is, he didn't write it in Portuguese, he wrote it in English. In each chapter of this book, he identifies certain things which go into success. And one of the interesting ones was he was taking the case of Canadian ice hockey players. And it was observed at some point that the top ice hockey players were usually born in the first 3 months of the year. And this may seem to be very, very strange indeed. Why should they be born in the first 3 months? Well, what happens is when the game is introduced and they're introduced to kids, the coaches come along, they've got no idea whether people can skate, whether they're agile or not. And there is a bias that people go towards the larger people. And that is, with the kids, it's the ones who are born in the first part of the year. They could be 9, 10 months older than the ones at the end. And initially, there's no difference in skill. But once they've been divided into groups, then the first group, which has had more training, better training, after 2 or 3 years, they are simply better than the people in the second group. They start off with no advantage other than being slightly older and slightly taller. And after a few years, they have an overwhelming advantage. So I'll try and talk about some of these things that I think are important in chess. And one of those things is luck. And I will mention timing. So here we're talking about age, talk about timing. So I was born in 1965. And in 1972, there was a match which took place in Reykjavik, Iceland. And it was the Fischer-Spassky match. Here it is. It's described as the match of the century. I think it's the chess match of all time. It had huge publicity. It was mainstream news. They were interrupting programs in the United States to give the results of the games. It was an enormous influence. Now, I was brought up in a small town in the northwest of England. I knew how to play chess. There was nobody really in my family who played chess. We didn't know what it was. That match was a key thing to kickstart my chess career. After that, my parents realized they had to put me in tournaments. I had to join clubs. That was very important. Now, the timing is very important. 1972, I was 7 years old. Let us say I would have been born in 1960. Then I would have been 12 years old. And this is simply too old for me to become a great player. So this is actually luck. It's a matter of timing. And I think there are often these inspirations to different players. So if we take, for example, the great champion, Capablanca. So here is Jose Raul Capablanca. Now, he didn't quite have an experience like that, but in 1888, there was a match organized by the Havana Chess Club between Wilhelm Steinitz and Isidor Gunsberg. That took place in Havana. That was the year of his birth. And this created a chess boom in Cuba. So this was actually very, very influential. His father was involved, the people around, they were very much into chess. And this influenced Capablanca in his early days. Then I will talk about Vishwanathan Anant. So Vishy Anant, 5 times world champion. He is, of course, Indian, and he was influenced by the match between Korchnoi and Karpov, which took place in Baguio City in the Philippines. Strangely enough, his father got a job in the Philippines just before this. And this created a great boom in chess in the Philippines. Vishy was part of that chess boom. So this is actually a little bit of luck. I want to go back to Vishy and talk about the accidents of geography. So nowadays, we've just had the Olympiad in Chennai. India is an absolute powerhouse in chess. But in the 1980s, it was a rather mediocre chess nation. And they only had Manuel Aaron, international master. There wasn't that much going on. He was from Chennai, Madras, as it was there. It is no coincidence, in my opinion, that Vishy Anant is from Chennai. He was from the chess center of India at that time. Now, the whole of India is a chess center, but that was very important. If we go to my career, so I'm growing up in the Northwest. I went to school in Bolton. I'll just show you my school. There's my school. I went to the Bolton, and the most famous person from my school is Gandalf. Gandalf, yeah, there he is. Ian McKellen was head boy at my school. Not at the same time, he's a little bit older than I am. You can probably tell. I hope you can tell. And at the local club, there was Bolton Chess Club. There were a number of players. They're not very famous players, but Peter Markland, he was an international master. He came second in Hastings one time. Martin Corden was another player there. He had beaten the great Vasily Smyslov. And there were other players like Jeff Horner and so on. And this is just completely by chance that my closest club happens to be a very strong club. So I want to mention another thing. I don't have much time left now. Gladwell talks about the concept of 10,000 hours. And there's an idea that you need to spend at least 10,000 hours on any difficult topic, any difficult thing. If you want to be a concert pianist, you will never become a concert pianist if you are just practicing for a couple of hours on a Saturday. You have to do this all the time. So Dana mentioned something about this. Talent is, hard work is a talent. Actually, Garry Kasparov says exactly the same thing. Hard work is a talent. You've got to put in time. If you look at my career, I spent a lot of time playing chess. Year after year after year, I played more games of chess than anybody else in the north of England. It's not accidental that I'm talented. The harder you practice, the luckier you get, as Gary Player said, and that's very important. You've got to put in a lot of work like that. So these are some of the elements, and I think there is another thing, I'll be as quick as I can, that if you are to put in time into that, then sometimes things have to give. It's not a coincidence, I think, that the greatest female chess player of all time, Judith Polgar, did not go to school. Peter Lecco, another World Championship finalist, did not go to school. These are very intelligent people. They just did not go to school. They were devoting themselves to the game. Bobby Fischer, another one, he quit school as soon as possible. I quit school quite quickly. Magnus Carlsen, the current world champion, did not go to university. We're not talking about stupid people here who are incapable. It's if you want to reach the absolute top, sometimes things have to give. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed that.
Thanks, Nigel. Maybe you have questions to Dana, to Nigel, also to our next speaker. And if you have a question, we can do this in the second session. But how do you ask your question? The best way is to come during the coffee break that we have later on. Come to me, tell me your question, and I'll ask it on your behalf. Next speaker is a special pleasure because he's our local hero today. On the stage, it's Álvaro Costa. Thanks a lot. We have a different perspective. He's not the biggest chess player of Porto, but he's a former president of the Chess Federation. So he did a lot of good things for chess in Portugal, and he knows a lot about business. Here you go, Alvaro.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Álvaro Costa. I'm Portuguese. I'm a professor at University of Porto, and I'm the CEO, and I own a company. And what I'm going to speak today is on how I integrate chess knowledge in management of my company. So I developed my chess mind in England while doing my PhD. I had a scholarship for 3 years, and in 17 months I solved the problem. My son was starting to play chess, he needed a coach. I started reading about how to coach him, and I had this experiment, is the theory and the practice at the same time. So I was coaching him, and he was delivering very quick, so it was quite an experiment. I had plenty of time. I was fascinated with what I was discovering. So that is where I developed my chess mind. Launching a company, you also have to know the rules of management. It's like playing chess. You know, first you have to know the rules, and then you're able to play. So to develop the knowledge of managing a company, I sat in several boards and several organizations, and only when I knew the rules of management, I was able to launch my company. The company is a consultancy company working on mobility. So the core business is the design of public transport networks, but we also work a lot on mobility and car parking, and so everything that is related to transportation. The company is a spin-off of University of Porto, and I have two roles. So I'm CEO, the owner, and also I coordinate the more complex projects because I'm the senior expert. So I'm going to speak now about 3 things related to the company: the product, then management, and lastly, how I see the future. And so how I integrate all this in management of the company. So this chess mind. So what we do, which is designing public transport networks, the process is very similar to the preparation of a chess game during a tournament. So the player has a chess base with all the games, then he knows who's his opponent, so he has to analyze the games in the data set. With mobility, same thing. We have a data manager with mobility. Then we have the problem. We have to choose only the demands and that we need to solve our problem. And then the player then trains himself because he knows who's the opponent. And we do the same thing. We have to evaluate scenarios. So we try different solutions. We evaluate scenarios in terms of results and in terms of implementation. So the core business of the company is very much the same as the process is very similar to the process of preparation of a chess game. So then I have my system, and I was a bit inspired in Nizovic. So first, I'm the king, yeah? So I'm CEO, I'm the king. As we all know, the king is flexible, but very slow, yeah? So only one square at a time, yeah? So he goes in every direction. But without the king, you lose the game, yeah? So the king is the piece that you have to protect. So normally the king in the openings and even middle game doesn't do anything. So, but in the end game, it becomes very active. So my dream in my company is to do nothing. So I want only to observe and to do some minor disruption, like castle. Yeah? So sometimes you have to do something. But the dream is to do nothing. Yeah? So the king is that piece that should be stuck in the position. So then I took from this of each, so I create my system. I took some ideas, and overprotection is really one of the ideas that is more important for my company, because I have to protect strong points. So I need people, skillful people, to design the networks, and I have to protect the knowledge and the people. Okay? So in many cases, I need to have two people knowing how to do the task, because we have to be always free to go. So overprotection for me, to protect strong points of the company, is really of major importance. And then I have to connect the pieces. And this is the most important thing in a company. So I have to connect the collaborators. How I do this? They have a meeting every Monday, so a small team, to distribute the work with all the other collaborators. I don't attend those meetings. I've never been there. So I'm concerned with clients. They have to work. So with that, which is the most important thing in the company, sometimes that gets difficult. With pandemic, I was tested to the limit with pandemic. So they are 17, I'm not counting myself. So before pandemic, I had 13 people in the office in the center of Porto, so we are near São Bento station. And I had one person in Pristina, Kosovo. In 1 week, I received a phone call. One of the collaborators told me, I'm going to move to Coimbra, and I'm not returning to Porto. 2 days later, I received another phone call, and one was saying, I'm going to Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm not going to return to Porto. Then a third one phoned me, and she told me, I'm going to outskirts of Porto, but I'm not going to the office anymore. So I had a problem. It's how to keep these people connected to deliver the service, because they were changing location. So what I have now, it's 4 people go every day to the office. 3 from Porto and 1 from Guimarães. So in Guimarães, I have 2 people. One of them tells me, I'm not going because I lose too much time. And the other tells me, I like Porto very much. It inspires my work. So I commute every day. So I have collaborators. I'm not going to impose anything. The only thing that I need to do is to connect them. And this is really important, because now I have one advantage over the competition. I connect with the clients. So before I was going around clients. Now they are split over the territory. So the clients many times go to them and not to me. And the good thing is that I'm really happy when the client speaks with my collaborators and not me, yeah? Because I don't want to work. Yeah, so it's the dream is to have this network well established. So what happens now is that my pieces are not my collaborators, but are also the clients. Yeah, so I have to put the pieces in the board, in the right position, but now I have more pieces. I have all the clients that I can also integrate in this system. So let's see now the future. So the future, the company has to be sustainable. And to be sustainable, we have to be the leaders in designing public transport networks. So we have to keep these skills. What happens now is that I have in company many people that are able to do this, so to design public transport networks. The good thing about this period is that the clients understood this. It's not only me that knows, they understood that my collaborators also know. So I'm getting more contracts because it's not me going around, it's plenty of people going around. So, and I'm becoming dispensable. Yeah, I'm dispensable. So I have the other problem, is that it's management. So as we know, without king, you lose the game. Yeah? So I'm the CEO. So you also know that if you promote a pawn, you can never promote a pawn to a king. Yeah? So and then you cannot pick the king anywhere. So this is a bit different from chess, and because you have to find a new king. I'm the older guy in the company, so and I have to think about this. So and the chess doesn't help much. Yeah? So I have to be dispensable. I have to find someone that can take my role. It has to be a chess player for sure, because all the organization was done by a chess player. So only a chess player can understand the culture of the company. So this, you understood that my dream is to be dispensable, which is a bit weird, because the value of my company is related to me being dispensable. Yeah? So I will be a successful entrepreneur if I can be replaceable, if I can be replaced. I'm sure that the dream of being replaceable, so the dream of being dispensable, is not the dream of anyone in this room. Thank you.
Alvaro, your last move surprised me, so I had to run. Thank you. Well, quite original talk, I think. And we have another speaker, and I see that he's over there, James Canty III. I think he's not necessarily from a dynasty of chess players, or he's actually, his strongest thing in chess is not playing, but streaming, communicating. He will talk about this, I'm sure, and also about how this is, because he still has ambitions as a chess player, how all this comes together. Great. You're coming all the way from Detroit. Thanks for joining us in Porto.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. Let me get the clicker thing. Glad to be here, everyone. I'm FIDE Master James Canty III from Detroit, Michigan. 30 years old, so yeah, still young, right? And love chess. Glad to be here. Thanks for everybody coming out and stuff like that. Let's get started here. So a little bit about me. There we go. Oh, let's go to the first one. Perfect. So that's a young Jimmy Canty there when I was 14 years old. There, I got some notes here. So chess is life and life is chess, guys. Anything that you do is all about, you know, thinking, right? Chess is life, life is chess. They always say this. So I remember being a young kid here playing, 14 years old, not really knowing what I'm doing, trying to get, you know, my game better. I remember going into 8th grade being an expert, 2,000 player over the board. And then I graduated a master, right? So I understood chess is cool. And my dad actually introduced it to me as a way to actually kind of get off the streets of Detroit, to be honest. Detroit is not the easiest place to live in, so I actually moved outside of Detroit so I can have a better life for my family as well. But Detroit was a really rough place, and my dad taught me chess to keep me off the streets of Detroit. So here, I'm 14 years old. I'm an expert at this time, going into high school, playing some chess, and this was good, right? So, yeah, chess is everything for me. So chess is my entire life. So moving on to the next one here. This is me in a suit, my dad's suit, as you can tell. That's kind of big, huh? Yeah, kind of big suit. But I was like 16 years old, right? So I'm playing chess here. I'm playing a simul that Nigel's going to do this as well. But I'm playing the simul here, and I didn't understand that chess was really everything for me, but what it's going to do in my future and what I'm doing today, and not understanding how much chess could be a business, really. really, as an entrepreneur, chess has helped everything in my entire life. I mean, like I say, chess is life, life is chess, thinking outside the box. Chess helps the decision part of the brain, the critical thinking part of the brain. It helps the math part. It also stops or it deters Alzheimer's and things like that. Chess has so many good things that people don't know. I didn't know this either. I just played because I liked it a lot. And also, I was really good at it, right? So I didn't understand it. It could actually be, a life outside of what I have now. So here, this is me studying, actually 3 screens. This is an old setup that I had, 3 screens set up. This was before the stream life, before the YouTube, before all the fun stuff. This is hard work, as Donna talked about earlier, hard work, right, and talent. The hard work and talent thing, I always believe that, or I heard a quote that they said, hard work beats talent when talent is not working. And also Nigel says that, talent is hard work is a talent, right? And that's really cool to actually understand that hard work is a talent. The harder you work, the better you will be in everything, especially here in chess. Here I'm working, putting in the work, trying to do everything that I can. And also goals-wise is trying to be one of the, black grandmasters. There's only like a handful. I mean, Maurice Ashley, and there's some other people that you don't even know about. I mean, they just never have been talked about ever, but there's a handful, about maybe 10 in the world, actually, that are African-American, and I have a great chance of being one of them still at the same time. So let me see my next note here for you guys. Yeah, it takes hard work and constant study to be a professional, right? So next part is, this is me now. Fast forward, right, into stream life. This is the stream life. I'm actually streaming right here. As you can see, my puzzle rating right there is 3394. I'm over almost 3,500 in puzzles. That's just an online thing, right? My sub goal and followers down here, we're approaching 30,000 followers as of today. I started streaming in 2018, right? So I remember actually before all of that, I was actually working, right? Just the work life, and trying to figure things out. As when I graduated high school, I started realizing that mom and dad don't pay for these tournaments no more. Like, that's going to cost some money. And, of course, the hotel, the flight, the food, everything you got to pay for, that stuff is very, very expensive. And I had to learn this, right? So as I'm working in the workforce, I'm like, I want to play chess. That's all I want to do. My mom always said, everything that you did, you always came back to chess. And I was like, okay, yeah, I understand that, Mom, but I can't make money from it. I didn't know how. Actually, I wanted to. Besides lessons, there had to be another way. And I really want to be social and play chess and like really go for Grandmaster, but it was just not possible. So until I found out what streaming was, I actually went to Twitch. If you guys don't know what Twitch is, Twitch has millions, in fact, of streamers and then even more that watch it. Twitch is basically, I couldn't believe what it was when I found out in 2018, that when you go to Twitch right now on your phone, you go to Twitch and you download the app, you can watch somebody play any video game, anything, from checkers to absolutely Sims, if you know what the Sims games is, to Call of Duty, to people cooking, to people in the pool. Just there's a tab for that, or a category called pool, hot tubs and pools. And people just, you go to it and they're like, hey guys, I'm in the pool. Like that's, and people getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, what is this? Like, how is this? I don't know what it was. 2018 was a game changer for me, right? So when I was like, all right, let's see what this streaming thing is. I like chess. I can talk, right? I did sales at one point. I did a lot of sales. And of course you have to, in fact, in anything, you have to have sales. You have to know how to be sales or do sales good to be actually very good at whatever you want to do. But I got into streaming 2018, saw some friends there that were streaming. And I was like, I'll give it a shot, see what happens, and give it a shot. And lo and behold, I actually became one of the greatest streamers as of today. Right now, still a celebrity streamer. I'm getting bigger every single day. Flavio, right? Flavio comes to my stream. Shout out to Flavio, right? It's and everybody comes to the stream. People that don't even know I'm signing books and autographs. Never thought that I would do this kind of thing, and it pays all of my bills just from streaming. Now, this is just the first part, but also I get to give back. As of today, let me actually pull up the numbers. As of today, right now, this is a YouTube thumbnail, by the way. So as you see, shout out to my thumbnail maker, but this is my thumbnail, one of my thumbnails for my YouTube channel. As of today, I have helped over 4.1 million people across the world that have watched. I have people that email me, James, thanks for helping. People come up to me randomly and just say, hey, I saw your Accelerated Dragon video. I won a tournament game because of it. I don't even know who he is, right? Or it's great that I'm able to help people across the globe. Never knew that something that I was so passionate about and I can make money from now and make a living from, that I'm helping people at the same time. My goal is to actually hit Grandmaster, be one of the black Grandmasters of the world. Make 2,600 is the next goal. They say if you get comfortable, that's when you start to decline. So when after GM, 2600 and then 2700 is a goal, of course, right? Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you hit the stars, right? So of course those are my goals here, but I got a lot of work to do, right? And it is a lot of work, but at the same time I document everything as we go back, and you get to see I'm documenting it, and people are along for the journey with me as we all grow and get better together, right? So this is here. What's my next one here? Oh, is my brand. Oh, this is actually, I was a little, if you can tell, I was a little chubby there, right? A little chubby there. Actually, chess and fitness is a huge thing for me. Physical fitness and chess is huge. In fact, Bobby Fischer was huge on it. Who else? Anand. Anand actually talks about he likes to do hikes. Kramnik says he solves complex puzzles and swimming. I'm trying to breathe underwater, and he's solving puzzles while he's swimming, right? So, but it tells you that physical fitness is very important. So for me, I was like, well, what's the highest level of physical fitness? Bodybuilding. So I actually got really big into bodybuilding, of course. November, I have my first show. I'll be on stage posing and all that stuff, right? But of course, I understand that the more that I work out and the more that I can, stand there in my clothing and look great and work on my chest, the better my chest games is going to be. But working out has been huge for me, as you can see now. So this is my brand, by the way, is a calculation over everything. COE, I have it on right now. COE, I have the chain, I have the hats, I got gear, I got merchandise, right? But not only is calculation over everything my brand, it also is showing to everyone, hey, you got to calculate, not only in life, but in chess. And then not only in chess, but in life, as chess is life and life is chess. So calculation, you got to calculate your next move. They always say, make your next move a chess move. If you ever heard that, or if you hear music, sometimes they talk about chess and some of your favorite songs that you may hear, and they reference chess in it, right? And that's because they understand you have to think. It's always about thinking, right? And as an entrepreneur, and COE, calculation over everything, came with my coach in December, was a brand of mine. We started talking about it, and every time I would talk to him, he was like, yeah, calculate. And I would ask him a question. He'd be like, yeah, but calculate it. And then I would say something else, and then I started seeing that calculate is everything. Why is he? He's always keeping telling me to calculate, and then think about it in my everyday activities. Is you got to calculate literally everything. So I came up with the brand, calculation over everything, and now it's selling. Everybody around the world actually has some gear from here. You can get some too. I'll give you a discount. We'll give you a discount. Calculation over everything, though. We have shirts, shorts, hats, women's clothing, literally everything, right? But, it started from me learning the game of chess from my dad to now, I'm in Portugal, right? Like, this is amazing, right? But it started, from me loving a game and playing with my dad. I think that's the final one for me. Oh, and then here, this is, of course, where you can contact me here. I'm a chess streamer, YouTube. I do commentary. I do lifting. I do everything in chess, right? Of course, but this is my email here. And that's it for me. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Finally, we have one more business lesson. It's all also about branding and marketing. Great. This is the last presentation of the first part. We have a coffee break now.
I'm Susana Gonçalves. I'm the director of Queens and the mentor of this initiative. Queens is promoting gender equality and social inclusion. Chess is not a male sport. It's important that women also have the confidence and the time for them to play chess and to play sports and have this contribution of the society. The Queen's Gambit TV show had amazing impact for women to start to have a passion for chess.
There is a team for boys, but there wasn't a team for girls, so sometime later there was a team created, and it was Queens, a chess for girls.
I really enjoy being the Queens team.
The movement of Queens helped me not be alone in tournaments because a lot of women start playing.
We have children and have mothers and grandmothers that are playing chess, and they do and they can be better players than men, that they really can achieve the dreams and all the conquers they want to get for their lives. Queens is trying to participate in events, support chess clubs to organize and create events, and also is the organizer of many social events. We are organizing the International Chess Conference in Porto Business School. Strong Minds event is an international chess conference that joins chess to business and business to chess. Chess has the space for women to play. Chess can give them the chance to be world champion too. So keep on achieving dreams in business and in strategy. We are getting all the attention of the media, chess clubs, and all the academies. We are open to private and public entities, so whenever you need to promote chess, invite Queens.
The benefits of playing chess, first of all, is objective thinking.
In management, taking reasoned decisions.
We should think about the other.
Account the other, the opposite, in management reflects in the strategic thinking.
We also get the habit of planning.
And that in business is the strategic and the operational planning.
We should have a very flexible thinking.
And nowadays it's very important to have a flexible management, so we get there by playing chess.
Maybe the most important, we should be very self-confident.
In business, that reflects in entrepreneurship, to be more proactive in business.
Also, to play games of 5 or 6 hours, we should have a great emotional and physical resistance.
And training that, it's like an enterprise having a resistant structure to overcome adversities.
One very important thing is the decision making that we have in chess and you also have in life. We use material, time and quality. This formula we use also in business.
We have a workshop that we developed inspired in a book, How Life Imitates Chess. And we've done it in various organizations. And one of the results of that workshop is that people want to play more chess. Some of the people that go there say, oh, I've never played it. This is so fun. I want to know more.
So it's the reason why this movement is increasing.
The enterprises understand that's the way. Some organizations already have those clubs and they benefit from practicing. I remember someone that was in the workshop and she said, I already look at my life like a chessboard. Managing my team, when I go and take a decision, I look at the chessboard and say, okay, now this person is here, but I want to move there. So it was really fascinating.
There are a lot of examples, but I use a lot for my students that are taking decisions for university or choosing which career they will follow. In the beginning of the game, we have 20 opportunities for decision and we choose only one by game. And this is life.
My name is Pedro Raul. I'm the head of Porto Chess Association. We promote chess in the Porto region and organize events that give the regional titles. How to create a chess club. That's much easier than you might think. If you're already part of an organization, say you're in a school, you're in a firm, or in an association that doesn't offer chess, that has, say, soccer or anything else, it's really simple to create a chess club. All you need is the okay from the boss of your organization. You take the VAT number of the organization that is starting a chess club and contact the Portuguese Chess Federation. You register your club and you will need to fill out a form that the organization boss will have to sign. And that's it. You will be given a password to the platform for registrations. And from there you can register you and your friends as the players. You can see what competitions are available, and you can register for competitions or even create your own competitions. From then on, there is a fee of the order between 10 and 20 euros. It will change a little each year. And the club itself also pays a fee, maybe 50 euros or something of that magnitude. If you already have an organization, this will be the cost, like 4 players per year minimum, and the fee of the club, and that's it. If you really want to start from scratch and a completely new club that is not part of anything else, it's a little harder because the club must be either a firm or an association, and you have to create it. So that goes a bit outside the scope of the chess part. The bureaucracy of it has been reduced significantly, and the government has put in place sites that help you do the necessary steps. If you want to create a club, you will manage. Contact the federation, contact me, and it will happen. The hard part then is to keep them feeling motivated to create events, recruiting people and attracting new people to the game. It's important that you have some kind of plan to improve the chess strength of your players, because it's really hard to keep motivated if you don't see an improvement in your game. And some players don't mind, they just want to play, but most people want to feel they are improving and getting better results.
I'm Sonia Japoso and I'm from Vila Real, a city north of Portugal. People love to play chess. When they start, some people say that they can't play, they don't play, but when they start, they love it. My chess club is the Vila, and we are working to get better and to improve chess in our city. We already have done one tournament in the city in June. We'll organize more tournaments, that's why we want to involve more people in this project. With some problems sometimes, because it isn't easy to have human resources to work when you want, but it's doing well. In September, we'll start at schools as a non-curricular activity with students from the 1st to the 4th grade, because it promotes skills that are very important in our students. We are also involved in other projects. One of them is developed by the City Council that is called the Bairros da Vila. The main objective is to promote chess in the neighborhoods and the social integration through chess. We also have in mind to work with the eldest people. We have to keep in mind that if you want to play chess on a professional level, you have to dedicate a lot of time and you have to study very much. But if you want to play because you like it and you enjoy it, yes, you will play for all life.
Victor. I am a school teacher, but also I work with chess in Gol FM and Novum Canal, that is a TV channel online. In the TV show that it's called Checkmate. My guests are school teachers, chess players, directors from clubs, also parents that talk about why do they feel that chess is a good thing for their sons or their daughters. In Gol FM, there is a chess bulletin that runs every week. If you organize a tournament, an event, you need to promote that event. Sometimes clubs organize tournaments, but they don't promote their events before and after. And that is something that has to be done. Promote our product, that is chess. So as chess players, as chess promoters, as chess teachers, you cannot organize an event and be a close event just for our friends, our group, or the chess family. You have to go outside the box. And in Portugal, we need, as chess players, as chess responsibles, to promote our events, to have enterprises then associated to chess and be sponsors to chess, like Porto Business School is doing with this chess conference. And by that, we gain attention, we gain resources, mainly financial resources to prizes, and have our chess players getting better, because you only get better playing with better players. It is important for the chess world to gain sponsors. During the pandemic, Carlsen is one of the main examples. He gathered attention with chess.com and other companies, and they gathered almost $1 million in prizes for online tournaments. For companies, it is a market that is open, a market where you do not have to spend a lot of money, but you get more attention, like our tournament in Maya. During 7 days, you have almost 300 players and families there, because there are a lot of chess players that are young, like 6, 5 years old, and they are going to play, they are going to recognize your brand now and in the next years, and you can promote your brand. There is much to be done, and I think it can be done with the effort of all companies, chess players, chess clubs, but also with all the media. In other countries that has been done with success, and in Portugal we can do it too.
I've been twice the European Youth Champion under the age of 18, back in 1998 and back in 1999. That's probably one of the highlights in my semi-professional chess career. But afterwards, I took a decision not to become a professional chess player. That was probably still the most difficult decision in my life. That has been the most difficult decision in my life, because chess meant a lot to me. But then again, I understood that I'm interested in many other things, and I want to study, I want to work, I want to explore the world behind the borders of the chess board. So I quit the professional chess. But I've never left it, even in my most busiest years when I used to be a minister, and you know how busy the schedule of the ministers are. I always tried to play at least some chess games in a year. I've been playing in the German Chess League and in Swedish Chess League, and that's been my meditation, that's been my brain fitness, that's been my getaway, this opportunity to jump on the plane, to travel to Berlin, play some nice chess games, and switch the brain from the everyday duties to this very beautiful game. Is there any difference between ladies and men playing chess? My observation is that, yes, ladies tend to be more intuitive chess players rather than precise. And this is sometimes a problem of ours, because chess is still a very precise game at the end of the day. Men are able to concentrate on one thing and dig deeper in that, while I guess that women are much more able to go wider and use the information that is available. We are a multifunctional creatures, and I guess with the computer age, with so much information being available, the strengths of the ladies should be increasing. We are better at synthesizing the information and making nice things out of it. Yeah. Chess for me is a sport where I can compete and have this experience of a very wide palette of emotions, starting from the bitter taste of a failure till the sweet sense of a victory. You can never get the same wide and strong emotions in other areas. That's my experience.
So welcome back, everyone, to the second part of the Strong Minds International Chess Conference here at the Porto Business School. And in this session, the speakers will address questions, some questions that I got from you during the break, and a few questions that I prepared also in talks with the speakers and with organizer Susana Gonçalves. And I want to start with Dana. You've talked about your career move from chess to management and then politics. And I was wondering, you had all these chess skills and successes. How did you bring them in when you were trying to get your first jobs outside of chess, obviously? How could you sell what you learned from chess in the business and later on the political world?
Well, thank you very much for your question. First of all, I don't think I was trying to sell the chess skills while I was applying for the jobs. But nevertheless, I feel that the application of the skills have come subconsciously first, and then retrospectively, I have considered that, okay, this and this most probably comes from chess. So, and only after I have structured the things in my mind and created some stories to share as well. But undoubtedly, I can also say that especially in politics, chess has helped me a lot in image creating, because politics is a man's world. And especially in the positions like a Minister of Finance, you should be an alpha man to be one there. Yes. So, and for me, being a woman, title of a chess grandmaster, okay, it's a woman grandmaster, but still being a chess grandmaster has given the sense of seriosity and seniority. It has always been easy for me also to start a small talk, because whoever was having a look at my CV always because it was chess that caught their eyes, and I've always got a lot of questions about chess. How is it to be a lady chess player, and how do you apply it in politics, whatever? Yes, so that has been the first door for a warm relationship, and then business and political deals as well.
And political deals and business that requires negotiation skills. You have talked about how chess promoted your decision skills, but what about negotiation skills?
Negotiation skills, yeah, that's a good question, because normally when you're a chess player, you try to get the advantage on your side of the board or the table. When you are negotiating, you have to be the one who gets your idea across the table by the opponent or by the colleague or by your partner to be accepted. So that's probably one thing that you cannot learn from chess, and still some other education is needed and experience in your life.
Alvaro, as a running your business, and you've talked about all the chess thinking that has gone into this, but did you actually also play chess or other games with your team in order to promote skills or team building in some way? Is there some nice story that you can share with us?
No, I don't play chess in the company. So I have two people that play chess in the company, me and another. So sometimes we speak about that, but the other members of the company don't play. So we have even, for example, I teach at university, and I give I teach operations research, and I give a lesson only about chess decision, because we are speaking here about things that are technical, but many things that psychological. Yeah. So one thing is technical side, the other part is decision, and other things they are taken into consideration. Now, in the company, I have these processes that are similar, but I prefer to have people trained with the translation processes than with chess.
Okay. You had this great metaphor earlier that you are the CEO, and you compared this being the king on the chessboard with the CEO position. But that begs the question, in your company, who is the queen? Who is the rook? Who is the bishop, the knight?
That is a real problem, and I have a problem sometimes. The other day I was approached by the younger member of the staff, and she told me, it's a problem here, we don't have any hierarchy. So I don't know what position I should achieve, because what I have is that it's like in chess. Sometimes the pawn is the best piece, sometimes it's the queen, sometimes it's the knight. And in my company, I do like it is like that, yeah. So I have different pieces, and some of them are better for one movement, some are for the other. So I can have a younger person coordinating a senior member of staff, and the other way around. So even, for example, I have to write many things for journals, for newspapers. So, and we have also always double reading. So we have someone that is going to correct what the others write. So what usually I do, I write and I say to the younger member, correct me. And they are always, the last one to end, they are always tense in correcting something that I wrote. Yeah? But we don't have any hierarchy. That's something that I learned with chess. It's in business, for example, if you are buying shares of companies, you have always a preference by Volkswagen or by Apple, or a chess player. The value of the piece is the value of peace in the moment. Sometimes the pawn is more important than the queen in that move, and the king does nothing. So in the end, you have to understand in that moment which is the move that you should do, and you can do that with the last person entering the company. So for me, and it is a bit weird in a company, I don't have an hierarchy. So I have coordinators in one subject that might be coordinated by other people that they are coordinating. So it depends on the projects. So for me, each project is a project, a different one. And for example, the knowledge about the territory is very important. So usually, if I have a project in one territory, I have someone living there, probably I have to empower that person because they have some local knowledge that the others don't have. So I don't have any hierarchy. So that's why I'm a bit outside, because they organize themselves. Even sometimes I say, I call someone, I say, okay, you're going to do this, I need this 3 days later or 1 week later. And then appears another person giving me the project that I want. And I ask the other, okay, but we divide in a different way? No, it's me doing. So I don't care. The job has to be done. They organize themselves. And there's one thing that I explain them. I like to have the company if I don't have to manage people. So if they give me too much hassle, I sell the company. So for them, they have their problems, but they organize themselves before they approach me. Otherwise, I'm in life, I'm not here to take care of kids. Yeah?
So the pieces are moving by themselves. Is that
No,
right?
no, they are organized, but they don't have someone commanding. It's like they have a small team of people that organizes the pieces. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I only have to organize the major strategy. For example, for me now, it's very important with this change that I have to put them approaching the clients, because I can take the clients for my board. So then I have to set strategy in the project saying, okay, this person has to be involved, but then they distribute and I go to the client always with local person to empower them.
Now, business is obviously teamwork, and it's very interesting how you organize or let it be self-organized. But chess at the top is probably also, to some degree, teamwork. And Nigel, you can probably share some of how much teamwork and how are the teams organized. How was it in your time at the top, and how is it in the current?
Yeah, it's I mean, basically for most of my chess career, I've been an autodidact. I didn't have trainers until actually my teens, and I was already a pretty strong player at that time when I was an international master. So in a way, it's got advantages and disadvantages there, because a good trainer can save a lot of time, I think, by identifying weaknesses, and sometimes you never eliminate your bad habits, which are deeply ingrained from an early stage. But it's true, actually, the higher I rose towards the World Championship, the more people I had in my team. If I talk about the cycle from 1990 to 1993, when I reached the final of the World Championship and played against Garry Kasparov in London. One important thing, I wasn't able to say it. There are so many things I wanted to say earlier on, but you never get round to them. Support, financial support, is actually extremely important at getting to a certain point, because at the top it becomes self-financing. If you're playing in a World Championship final, you're going to make a lot of money, so you can pay. But to get there, sometimes you need some help. And I was very fortunate. It was really key in me reaching the final was I got support from Eagle Star Assurance Company. It was actually an arm of British American Tobacco. I shouldn't say those things today, but they had moved away from, carcinogens and killing off people, and they'd gone into financial services as well, because they thought this was a declining market. Anyway, I got quite a lot of money actually from them, and it was really very important for me to be able to select good coaches. And I started off, strangely enough, with Boris Spassky, the great Boris Spassky. I knew him because he was on my team in Solingen. I was playing in the Bundesliga at that time, and I played on board 1, Robert Hübner on board 2, Boris Spassky on board 3 for our team. And I wanted to work with him because, he had just such an incredible knowledge of the game. So I went to his, he agreed. He said, no more than 5 hours a day, maximum. So I went to his home in Grenoble, and he actually worked very hard, which was surprising because he's an incredibly lazy person, unbelievably lazy person. So, but he worked very hard. I think he was just enjoying it, and I found that to be very helpful. I got a lot out of it. Boris would say very, very simple things. They were so simple, they were like annoyingly simple. And then afterwards, I'd be thinking about it, and I think, yeah, he's absolutely right. Sometimes it's good to think about very complicated things in an extremely simple way. It gives you clarity on, we'd have a position. And I'll give you an example. So we'd have a position, and my way of going about things would be immediately to go to the database to see what games had been played before, the main ideas. And Boris would just say, and now it's necessary to find a plan. Something like this. What a stupid thing to say. I was one of the best players in the world, and he's telling me I need to find a plan. But it was like an epiphany for me at that moment, because I looked at some position which had occurred thousands of times in Grandmaster chess, and I came up with a completely original plan, which I later used against Anatoly Karpov. And sometimes you have these little sort of sparks like that. It's a long story. I hope you don't mind me telling these things. So, to my great regret, my collaboration with Boris Spassky ended. And because after that session, he said, you must now speak to my manager and about going forward. And his manager was Bashar Kouatly. And then immediately it was 3 times as much money. So I decided I would end this collaboration there and then, and I would find another coach. So that was the end of that. And I worked with Luboš Kovalek. Luboš had been the Czechoslovakian champion, and he had been US champion as well. Experienced player. So I had him for that cycle. And the further I went along, the more people I got. So by the time I reached the final, I had 3 Grandmaster seconds. So working as a team, I sacked one of them, but that's another story. So sometimes that was important actually going forward. And even I left it, I delegated it to Robert Humner. He arranged he's much more organized than I am. You know, he's a professor of papyrology and a great academic, a very, very intelligent man, a polyglot, speaking, you know, every known language, from Finnish to Dutch to whatever. And Robert just sort of arranged things in a very systematic way. And I found that very helpful because I'm not the most organized person. I have my own approach, and sometimes it's good just to have people going in a straight way just to tidy things up. So having a team that's working well. And Magnus Carlsen has bigger teams now, and he has sort of remote people. I mean, he often has them physically together because sometimes you need this exchange of ideas when people are in close physical proximity. But we've been talking about remote working, and you could do a tremendous amount of stuff with people in different continents, actually, if it's structured in the right way. I think it's very good to meet physically sometimes. Yeah. That's what I feel. You know, when I was in FIDE as a vice president of FIDE, we you know, during the COVID times, we went to away from some physical meetings. It was very difficult to do that for a time, and you know, it functioned. It functioned quite okay, but like everybody said, it's necessary to meet physically sometimes, because very often your ideas come when you're having a coffee break like that, you know, and it's not necessarily in the meeting. You're just more relaxed and you're chatting, and you know, little ideas come here and there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nigel. Talking about the team play, also in streaming, I think there is this aspect. You're not an isolated actor here, right,
yeah.
James?
Yeah, yeah.
So how is how is cooperation organized in streaming?
Streaming is streaming. You are I am actually the show, obviously, but there is on the back end. There's actually a lot of work people don't know, like handling OBS, Open Broadcast Software. Literally, that right there is a school. Learning how to use OBS. It took me 2 weeks to learn how to use OBS before I started streaming. So I had to Google everything, YouTube, find this, call people. It was ridiculous. But once you learn it, you have it. And then you do need a team to help you, for instance, psychology-wise, or sometimes there's been streamers that, not many, of course, and it's sad to say, but some streamers have committed suicide. Some that are big, that actually, there are a few that, and not, of course, not many, I mean, maybe 3 or 4, but the fact that they did that and having such a big success, what happened, right? So mental health is important, so taking care of that. Actually, I think part of my team is my chiropractor, in fact, because I do go to a chiropractor, because healthy mind, healthy body, I'm really big with that. I eat well, I work out, make sure my body's right. I sit a lot. Streaming, sometimes I can stream for 8 hours of sitting down, right? Chess is the same way in a very, you know, when you're sitting 6 hours one game, right? But the back and having the spine issues and stuff, and sitting so much is not good for the body. So chiropractor is part of my team. I have my coach, my chess coach I work with. I also have my thumbnail maker. So the thumbs, you need to have good thumbnails for YouTube. There's certain things you need to have a successful YouTube channel, right? So the good thumbnails, I'm not good at graphic design at all. Somebody, there she is. Yeah, Helena's very good at Photoshop and stuff like that. But of course, having people that can help you with that part, or that I'm not so good at. I'm good at the streaming and the social part and the chess, and I need people to help on the back end with that. So having a team is 100% important, but you got to select the right team that's not there to try to just, or try to ride the success train, or try to sit there and try to, you're making some money, let's actually charge you a lot more and stuff like that. You need people that you can connect with. So it's very important to have a team.
And how, do you cooperate with other streamers?
Absolutely. Collaborations are huge. They love that. They're like, oh, I get my two favorite streamers streaming together. Oh, my goodness. They go crazy.
How do you choose them? How do you choose them?
fact-
Did you actually work? I've been specifically asked because in the Portuguese-speaking world, Rafa Chess or Rafa
Yeah, I've been
Chess.
hearing about him a lot. I'm actually going to reach out to him. I actually read one of his books before on the Nighthawk Sicilian. So I was like, oh, interesting. So perfect. I'm actually going to reach out to him to connect. I didn't know he was that big on YouTube. I saw his YouTube channel. I was like, that is nuts. Absolutely ridiculous. My Twitch is really big, but my YouTube is still growing. I got 15,000 subscribers and growing, but he's at like something 20 million, I think, on YouTube. I think that's what I saw. I was like, that's insane. Like, if it's 20 million subscribers on YouTube, is ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. He's like bigger than big, so on YouTube. So I'm definitely going to reach out to him for that. It's going to be fun. But the collaborations, they love that. Things called subscriber battles, where actually that's the biggest thing is me and another streamer will have subscribers. Subscribers pay anywhere from $5 to $23 a month. And then it'll be, they'll play against each other. And you will have two teams playing chess against each other. But you're on Canty's team, and then you'll be on, like, for instance, Chess Dojo's team. And they can play and watch at the same time. And everybody's playing. It's great. It's awesome. Collaboration.
So all these millions of people who are sometimes, all together,
Right.
following chess online and on streams, and it's. I think FIDE has, of course, been looking carefully what's happening over there, and then chess is not only about the top 100, top 1,000 who are playing competitively. Chess is also a thing that you want to bring to society for social benefits. What could you learn from Twitch, from YouTube, from how the streamers are working in order to bring this out? How is FIDE doing this these days? I know it's a tough question, but
this is something that FIDE does not have in-house capacity and in-house knowledge. And the smart thing for our organization would be to get the partners who would be happily working with FIDE. Because honestly, of course, we have lost the momentum to create our online and technology capabilities. So is it worth to run after it? I don't think so, because the train has gone too far. Now it's better to find the good partners and not to lose on those things that are ours and where we are strong, and what is our product, which is the World Championship cycle. So we need to improve it and from the point of view of making it more attractive again. Cooperations, yes. Ratings, it's still ours, yes. Regulatory base, I believe also fair play, that should be kept as the strong in-house mandated capacity of FIDE. Otherwise, it's already the private platforms, private players who are there, and it's better for us that if there are many of them competing among themselves, rather than only one monopoly that we see here. There is a risk of merging chess.com and chess24. Yes, I see the risk there, but I still struggle to understand how FIDE can become more attractive to them, to these opinion leaders. Yes, why should they be willing to cooperate with us? It's clear why we should be willing to cooperate with them.
And there's also how is technology? Since you say that the train has gone, so FIDE cannot develop technology itself, it's become complicated, expensive, and there's a lot of competition, of course, for our great IT talent. But you must sometimes have ideas how to use chess for social benefits in education for elderly people, using technology, especially during the pandemic when it was not possible for many people to meet or to go into elderly care homes. What possibilities do you see for FIDE to bring technology into play here for the social benefits of chess?
Two directions I see. One, I'm very happy that our technology companies, the biggest online platforms, they are the companies that have the corporate social responsibility. They carry out their own initiatives, supporting various social projects. And just to mention a few, Tornello has developed the tool for the blind people, for the blind chess players to be able to play chess. Yes, and now we can cooperate, organizing our tournaments on the platform and giving the chance for people with disabilities to participate. Yes, another great initiative, for example, Chess in Prisons. I was just presenting you this initiative. There is no other sports in the world that can be played internationally while you are being imprisoned. With chess, it's possible. We, on 13th and 14th of October, we're going to organize the second online intercontinental championship for the prisoners. We aim for at least 64 teams to participate. Now there are 24 countries, more than 40 teams already enrolled. So chess for refugees. I mean, one thing is that we train the trainers there because the physical contact is very important, especially if you work with the kids and vulnerable groups. But on the other hand, besides this practical work on spot, offline, we are offering them the online courses. We have the girls' chess club, where the women leaders, chess players, are giving the lectures to the girls there, thus empowering them, thus inspiring them. It doesn't take much. It's just internet and some of the online platforms that we can work together. Yeah. So these are nice examples that you know, show how we can use simple technology for empowering people, teaching them chess.
There's one organization in IT, in online chess, that is also non-profit. One big organization, Lead Chess. Like FIDE, I think you share a lot, you're non-profit, you want to bring chess to many people. Lead Chess has also already years ago developed tools for blind people to use so they can play chess online. Yes,
another example.
And wouldn't it make sense, or, well, obviously it makes some sense, but how can FIDE work together with an organization like Lead Chess, giving them resources to develop the good things that you want? What plans or ideas do you have in that?
We are already working together, and it's all about, you know, project-based system. One project we work together with Chess.com, another with Chess24, and the third with Lead Chess, and then the fourth with Tornello. I think it's also important for FIDE to keep the balance in this relationship, because, you know, it's not that dangerous if one company buys the other one. It would be much more dangerous if some company would buy FIDE. Yes, okay, yeah. Not directly, but indirectly.
Okay, yeah, interesting stuff. Alvaro, what is your idea about technology in changing the game? You have seen from the outside, at the time when you were the president of the Portuguese Chess Federation, online chess was not very big. Now it's a whole different world out there. Would you prefer to manage it now, maybe because there are more chances, or how do you see this?
When I managed the Chess Federation, the federation was bankrupt. So, so my effort was really to put accounts right, do the agreements with government, and so get financing for the federation. So when things were okay, I started to have problems with chess players, so, which is very normal in chess, I guess. So I was there only 8 months, and I put things together, and I left. So as no, I think the online chess is a push forward for chess. I lived in England when that guy was really on top between 93 and 95. I lived between 93 and 96, so it's you were mentioning 93 and 95. And at that time, for me, it was very curious because I could watch games of chess on TV, and here we cannot.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my match, there was 60 hours of chess on British television. It's actually quite a lot of time.
Yeah, and for me that was amazing because it was really interesting. So what I feel now is that we have, this is like in companies, we have much better tools, but we have to use the tools on an intelligent way, because if we know, a tool is a tool, yeah, but it has no value if you don't use it in a proper way. So for me, to play online is very good because I don't have time now to play in chess tournaments, so I can always link to Chess.com and play a game. So for me, it's a way of being linked with chess. Otherwise, I would not be linked with chess now. And I think it's a way forward because the society changed a lot, and people are split, but they have to connect. So old days, physical connection was the only way to connect. Now we have more. Physical connection is very important. Nigel said that, and it's really important. But we have more tools to keep connected than only physical connection. So, for example, we are in this room, and probably I connect. I'm more connected with the people that are linked to my mobile than to these people here. Yeah? So this is my connection. So physical connection is important, but now we have new tools. What I think is that many times we don't use them in an intelligent way. Even, for example, you were with this change with pandemic, I had to change all my management systems in terms of documentation, things like that, because people are wherever they are, yeah? But you have to keep a link, so you have to approve the documents, send documents, so you have to register everything. So you need a system to connect people to the product of the company. So you have to choose this system in a very intelligent way, yeah? Otherwise you lose the company. In my company, I screened all around, and I realized that Google was the best, the cheapest and the best. I didn't have to buy any software. I didn't have to go to a software house, because that is built like an office. You can do everything, so it's cheaper. And so sometimes the easy solutions, the simple solutions, they are there. You only have to adapt them to your reality, and that's what I did in my company. So what I put for everyone, doing the work in a process that I could control the work through a software that everyone uses every day.
You talk about choosing the best technology. Very often it's a question, Dana, to especially in politics and in business, there's so many tasks to do. Where's the priority? How do you choose what to do next? What gets your energy? What, instead of being managed by your agenda, really setting. What can be learned from playing chess for setting priorities? I think it's a tough question.
It is a tough question, and it always, I think, depends partly on your character. My character is I'm a reformer, so whenever I come, I see the deficiencies in the system, and then I cannot sit on my hands and need to change something, yes, and to improve it. And probably sometimes it comes also from chess. and the mindset of a chess, because you always tend to change your plans depending on this one position, and you have to revise your plans. So the fact that you have made a plan doesn't mean that it's forever, you know, so there is some dynamics necessary. So the question that your colleague was raising was not stupid at all. I mean, now we have to make a plan.
Yeah.
For you, it means, okay, I did make a plan already, yes, or, you know, somebody has made the plans already before me, but the ability to revise your plans, that's actually a very smart thing to be
You know
done.
what the famous philosopher Mike Tyson said about plans? He says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes, and then again, this is also a very good factor why you have to understand another thing that I mentioned, that especially in politics, but not only, you have to count on what the real needs are, not what you want to do or what you like to do, but what actually your stakeholders want you to do. And sometimes we forget to ask this ourselves. So in politics, you know, there's the sociology, you know, there are methods how you try to understand what the expectations of the people are. In FIDE, sometimes we forget to engage our stakeholders strong enough to understand where we have to go and what to do. So there is space for improvement.
So the stakeholders are important to keep going. What keeps chess players at the top? I mean, Nigel, you spoke a lot about how to reach the top, the circumstances that sometimes very helpful, but how to maintain, how to stay there. What did you learn about that?
Well, I've been declining for decades, so I'm maybe not the best person.
Oh no, maybe you have learned
about this. I think it's there's energy and motivation, and there was an England cricketer, actually, Graham Gooch. His mantra was, he said, if you fail to prepare to fail. That was it. That was his philosophy, and he was a very successful cricketer. He was meticulous in his preparation. And actually, I've discussed this with some other people. Always said that he thought motivation was actually the biggest factor, that at some point people think, why should I be bothered? And maybe that's happening to Magnus Carlsen now, because he's won however many championships, 5 is it? I've forgotten how many championships, 5 world championships. And I only played 1 world championship match, and I was completely exhausted. I mean, he took a huge amount out of me, and he's just non-stop on the treadmill. And that's been going on for years. And I think he's just got to the point where he thinks, you know, sod it. I can't be bothered. If you look from let's say, from a rational economic point of view, it would make more sense for him just to keep playing until he can't do it anymore. But I think he just is losing this motivation.
But this would be if the rationality was just maximizing income, probably. But he wants to maximize maybe happiness in his life.
Well, I mean, this is like in Bhutan, isn't it? They don't have gross domestic product. They don't measure that. They have gross domestic happiness index. You know, they have a happiness index. I don't know whether it's very scientific, but that's what they have. And I'm not criticizing him at all, by the way. I of course, I'm a chess fan. I'm a player, but I'm also a fan. And yeah, I'd like to see Magnus Carlsen play because he's a brilliant player. I mean, he's just outstanding. But I totally understand that he just may be tired. I don't think he's fed up of chess, not at all. Just, you know, doing it in the same way. And it's like day in, day out, you're having to prepare, and some of it's actually become very technical and very tedious in a way, because a lot of this stuff nowadays is pushing buttons. In my day, the chess engines were not that strong. But these days, if you're analyzing any position, if you're not, I mean, it's inconceivable that you don't use an engine because they're so strong. They are ridiculously strong. So a lot of this is it's sort of dull data work.
But Nigel, sorry, isn't it really so that if you want to keep your motivation as a chess player, if it's your profession, that it's very important for you to have another life as well? Because, I mean, in other professions, there's even a recommendation to change your position every 5 years just to keep yourself fit, yes? You cannot change your profession if you're a chess player and if you have chosen this path, yes? You cannot go away and come back and then probably be at
because
the top.
you have a shelf life that you have with, you know, any other sports men. So we're seeing now that in some ways the game is becoming younger. We had this spectacular success of the Indian second team in Chennai, some very young players. The Uzbek team is very, very young as well. When Jahangir Vahidov is the oldest player, you know, I mean, he looked like the grandfather on the team, and he's only 28. You know, he's... but chess players, they're not... they still play well at 20s, definitely, 30s also, I think, definitely. But you know, once you're hitting 40, like as Serena Williams has found out, you know, you start going down. There's no maybe the decline in chess is a bit more gradual. It's if you're running the 100 meters, it's, you know, and you lose that little bit. I mean, it's the difference between winning and finishing nowhere, basically, that small amount. So the decline is a little more gradual in chess. But Donna, you're right. I mean, once you go this way, I think you basically stay there. You know, either you quit completely, or you don't. The comebacks are not usually very successful if you move away. I mean, you can do them, but they're usually not that great.
But quitting might not be the end of the world. Quitting the competitive chess, we also see some examples. Of course, Dana, you were not like having a long professional career, but it shows that chess players can also reach very high. And we've had Joël Lautier, I think he was in the top 20, and he made a very successful career in banking, and there's a few other examples. Should FIDE, also some of these players, in the case of Joop van Oostrom, who stopped playing, like not really professionally, but who put so much effort into chess, he founded a company and became the biggest chess sponsor or mecenas for many years. Chess can also benefit from very strong chess players choosing another career, maybe also in technology or science or whatever. is FIDE thinking about helping this a little bit rather than just thinking about how can we create more grandmasters?
We are thinking about how to show and how to create other jobs in chess area. So this is one of the also priorities for the Year of Women in Chess. We want to show these women that being a chess professional only is not the only option. Yes, you can become a great streamer and earn a lot of money and pay your bills and be much richer than the world chess champion probably at some point. Yes, so this is not easy, but I think especially for women it's important actually to show that if you like chess, if it's your passion, there are other choices as well. You should not be only, you know, the fighter, because not all of them are ready to become you know, the tough fighters, and it's not easy emotionally as well, but they don't even consider that it's good to keep on going in chess, because I can do something for chess. I can implement social projects. I can be an educator. So yes, we are not only thinking, we are trying to work on this as well.
James has a disadvantage as a streamer because he's male. You know,
that is kind of correct.
It is kind of correct.
It is, yeah, a lot of women streamers.
There are, and very successful ones. I mean, the Botez sisters.
Botez, but they do a lot for the women that want to stream. I mean, Botez, Anna Kramling, and who else?
Nemo.
Nemo, right? Nemo. Yeah, those are the big three for women streamers. So if you do want to stream as a girl, you can. Those are who you look up to.
One last question to you, James. Okay. You mentioned that you figured from the feedback that you got that you help a lot of people chess doing something for them. Can you give us maybe a nice area where you think chess can really do something for someone who has not known chess before?
Chess is not. It doesn't have to be boring. Okay, so one thing about my channel is it's not boring. We play music, we have fun, we tell jokes. It's a party, right? That's how we want chess to be, and that's how I teach chess as well. So it's not like, you know, you falling asleep in class. That's how chess usually is presented. Sometimes, I mean, I even fall asleep watching a YouTube video on some chess. I used to. I would watch a YouTube video and like I'm about to go to sleep. This is great knowledge, but I'm going to sleep, right? This is because it's so boring. Sometimes there's like one guy, and today we were playing E4, E5, and knight F3, and knight C6. Bro, you about to go to sleep. Like, literally, you're going to sleep. Like, there's no way you sit through our video of that, right? So we make it fun. And like, E4 for the score. I rhyme with things. Make it rhyme. Make it fun. And then, bam, knight F3. Oh, my goodness. Wow. It sounds like I'm playing soccer or basketball or announcing, right? But it's that's how we keep it fun. So the way we keep that everyone likes it is the style I bring. It's fun. It's vibrant. It wakes you up while you're playing chess, and you're also learning at the same time.
Yeah, it's getting more interesting, but we have to finish this session, and I hope it was not boring.